Hey everybody, John Huber here, Maryland Education Network, brought to you by Maryland K-12. Still coming live, well not live, but I'm coming from my auxiliary office. Let's just call it. The role of the school resource officer. Why do we have cops in school? You hear that all the time, and it has indeed caused problems. The problems we have seen time and time again on these what I call YouTube moments. Kids are being dragged out of classes, hauled out of schools in handcuffs for, crimes that, by all accounts, were extremely minor to begin with, and something that wouldn't even get a second look if they were out on the street. But for whatever reason, we're in a school now. All of a sudden, they're arresting them for them. So let's take a look real quick at and this was the topic of my little session I did out in Las Vegas with school administrators and school resource officers. The school resource officer was put in schools originally in the 90s, mid-late. Of course, it actually goes back to the 80s and the discussion and all that. But generally speaking, locally in the Maryland area, we're looking at mid-late 90s. I was around when they first came, and they were there for one reason: to enforce the law. And they were not inclined any way, shape, or form to get involved in situations where the law was not being broken. Unfortunately, somewhere down the line, from time to time, people lose track of that, or they lose sight of that idea that school resource officers are there to enforce the law. If I'm an administrator and I go into a gym and I say to this kid, hey, I need you to come with me, and the kid doesn't come with me, he says, no, up yours, Mr. Huber, I'm not coming with you. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's all these things. But is that child really breaking the law? And what we've found is in a lot of these cases like that, maybe not administrator, teachers, whoever, they call the cop, the SRO. The SRO comes in and says, hey, Huber told you to get out of here, get out of here. Yeah, up yours too, Mr. Police Officer. I'm giving you a lawful order to come with me. And then it's on. And then next thing you know, there's you come with me, and there's handcuffs, and there's wrestling, and then the kid starts resisting, and it gets worse. So the role of the police officer, and therein lies the issue. Police officers are being put in these positions by administrators and by school personnel, and they should not be. It was really interesting when I did this. I was in a room full of SROs, mostly SROs. There were some administrators there, and I had a few examples and clear examples of what I thought was poor, not poor policing, but poor, just poor execution on all parts. And I would say, well, how many people think the SRO, did everything right here? And there were a lot of people said, yeah, it's fine, he did nothing wrong, when he ended up dragging this kid out in handcuffs. But my point was, these incidents should not have even occurred. The schools need to stop sending police officers into situations that do not involve law breaking. Refusing to come with an administrator or refusing to leave a room when a teacher tells them to is not against the law. I had one cop say to me, he was from Iowa, I believe, said, well, in our jurisdiction, if a teacher says you need to leave and they refuse to leave, that then becomes trespassing, and that there becomes an enforceable, borderline, arrestable offense. I'm not crazy about that, but at least there's some discussion on it, or there's some type of policy and it's been addressed. But I can tell you in Maryland, it's not breaking the law. Is the kid going to get suspended? Is he going to get this? Yeah, but it's a school-based issue. These are disciplinary issues in the school, and these are not law-breaking events. Now, I always say, what determines the difference? I was in schools many years prior to having school resource officers. And the answer is very simple. If the SRO wasn't there, would you pick up the phone and call 911? And if the answer is, well, probably not, then it's probably not a law-breaking event. In any case, these are the issues that are at the root of the school resource officer's role in the schools. We need to stop putting these police officers in these positions. When you look at their actions in some of these situations in a vacuum and say, well, did the officer do anything wrong? Maybe not technically didn't do anything wrong, but he should have never been sent there in the first place. This then contributes to the whole school to prison pipeline that you've heard about, and we have too many interactions between police and students that do not need to happen. Anyway, I hope that helps. And so if you're in your school system and you have a child in the school and you think, my God, they're calling the cop in here, give me a call. I'll be happy to see if I can help you out. Anyway, hope this helps. Thanks. Have a great day.